but you can't give your best self to anyone if you're not taking good care of your temple.
This is a journey.
Let me take you on a journey.
Welcome to Her Journey, presented by Kudzukian Media Group.
We believe Her Journey will encourage young women and help them see that life is a journey.
You have to continue to walk in your purpose.
We cannot control how other people respond to us.
As long as you have breath in your body, story does not end. Every day that God grants you, you have an opportunity to rewrite your story.
We believe Her Journey will encourage young women and help them see that life is a journey. Watch Her Journey, hosted by me, Joy Doss, brought to you by the Kudzukian Media Group and proudly sponsored by Nike, Black Community Commitment. Hello and welcome to another episode of Her Journey. I am, as always, in conversation with some of the most phenomenal and successful women right here in our backyard in Memphis, Tennessee. And today's phenomenal woman of the half hour is no different. I am talking to Vanecia Kimbrow. She is the managing partner of the law office of Vanecia Kimbrow Law. And I am welcoming you here. Let me not bury the lead. She is a phenomenal woman of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I always want to make sure I point out my sorors. Don't let this light red fool you. Because I'm, Delta Sigma Theta down to the day I die. So, welcome, my soror. Welcome, phenomenal woman, Vanecia Kimbrow.
Thank you so much, Joy Doss. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today. And I look forward to sharing a little bit of my journey.
Well, let's start unpacking because your resume is pretty stacked. So we might as well start unpacking all the things that you do. You're not just a lawyer. You serve on some pretty cool boards as well. Lemoyne-Owen, Soulsville. Talk about some of the boards you serve on and then how that dovetails into your professional life, because there is a synergy there.
Absolutely is. I like to think that I've been able to use my career to really be an advocate for my community, for things that I really care about. And things I care about most are housing issues, affordable housing for our underserved community members, because that's the cornerstone of wealth in the Black community, oftentimes.
Sure.
Education is important. I have a passion for our HBCUs because they are the stopgate for many of our students who, there was a time where ACT scores were very important, GPAs were very important. So our students did not get admitted to majority universities at a significant rate. And that was the value in our HBCUs, because they often would take our students just where they stood. And some of our city's greatest leaders are alum of our HBCUs, including the Lemoyne-Owen College.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an alum, but I serve as the chair of the Leadership and Governance Committee on the Board of Trustees of Lemoyne-Owen College, and I love that university.
I appreciate them, because you're right. Some of our students in particular need to be remediated. And I really appreciate and respect that there is somewhere here at home, because not everybody can afford to leave.
That's right.
That is willing to step into that void and help them, shepherd them to the next level. So
that's right.
Definitely appreciate that.
And our returning adult students. They have a
non-traditional
population of non-traditional students that are able to go out, live life, and return to education. And so the average age of student at Lemoyne-Owen is a little bit older than most of our local schools and universities. So it's an important staple. It's a cornerstone of Black culture here in Memphis. And so love that school.
So talk about your path and your school. So your school, you went to University of Memphis.
I did.
For law school and undergrad as well, right?
I did.
So why Memphis? I always want to talk about why Memphis. Why do you stay? Because so many people are itching to leave.
Hey,
I left too, but I came back. But Why say? Because that's important to hear too.
I don't know. I think Memphis really reminds me of home. So I am a native of Montgomery, Alabama, cradle of the Civil Rights Movement, home to Alabama State University. Tuskegee University is right around the corner. I actually started my college career at Jackson State University right out of college, and journeyed back home after having my wild child moment being a church girl. They set me free on a HBCU campus, and I had a whole lot of fun. Went home for a bit and then transferred to the University of Memphis undergrad because at that time, the state of Tennessee as well as the state of Mississippi were under a lawsuit called Geyer. And what the Geyer ruling said is that the states had discriminated against admitting minority Black students to institutions of higher learning. So your medical schools, your law schools, all of your professional schools, they were under a mandate to embark upon a summer program. And if you were successful in that summer program, your professional career was paid for, your studies. And so I attended University of Memphis undergrad for 2 years so that I could qualify for the Geyer scholarship. And the rest is kind of history.
That's very strategic. And I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder if my mom knows about that. I mean, I don't know if there's a statute of limitations, but she wanted to go to med school, and the professor would fail every Black student in their mandatory organic chem class.
Yeah.
Said no matter what you did, just fail them.
And that, sadly, that is, systemic racism. It's a part of the fabric of our nation, sadly. And
it is.
And so these were some of the remediations that the courts mandated certain states to take. And unfortunately, in this new era of we are all now equal, since President Obama magically, one thing.
Theoretically.
Yeah. And it's all theory because it's certainly not the case.
Right. It's not practice.
It is absolutely not the case. But, they're rolling back a lot of the steps up that we were afforded, including that lawsuit. So all of those things are no longer in place. But, thankfully, we do have some universities that are being very creative.
Sure.
And looking at things that our students tend to excel in, where we may not do well in standardized tests all the time. We're very creative. And so they've introduced other activities into the matrix. Be you fond of music. So if you have an affinity for music, the arts, we are creative people. So those things now factor into oftentimes college admission applications. So, we'll see. We'll see. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep on propping up and pushing forward our HBCUs, which is what I think is still, so important, that we maintain our institutions. So there's always a place for us to go learn.
Of course. And from your college experience, where did you go? What was the career path from there?
Very non-traditional. So I actually started law school with a child. My daughter was only 6 months old. Storm was probably about 6 months old. And as I progressed through law school, I had a second child. My husband and I married very young. Married, my college sweetheart that I met at 19. By 23, I was married. By 25, I was a mother of two.
Oh, wow.
And attending law school at the same time. And so, I did very well in law school, amjured a few classes, but found that my journey really needed to include economic development and non-traditional wealth building. And for me, that was important because I didn't want to be a litigator. And unfortunately, oftentimes, Black law students are pushed into litigation. And, we often have the gift of gab, but I wanted the gift of the dollar because, in my opinion, that is the great divide. Economic empowerment is the cornerstone to all oppression. Poverty is the cornerstone to why our people still struggle to this day. And so I wanted to empower people in a different way, not in the courtroom through traditional litigations with crimes. I wanted to empower them through wealth building, be it wills, estates, trusts, real estate, home ownership, business, corporate governance structure, how to be a business person and how to own real assets that could be passed generation to generation. And so that's the path I took. Did not practice with a big firm. Actually started community equity and title with a group of my married friends that were realtors at the time, my own practice. So right out of law school, I had done a small internship for about 6 months with Bruce Norris and Bass. Kevin Bruce was at the helm. Phenomenal transactional attorney, taught me all that I needed to know. And from there, I launched the first Black-owned title company by a Black woman in the state.
Okay. Oh, wow. Another first. We had an earlier interview where we talked about first, too. Then we love first here, the ceiling breakers. So, and the way makers, because as we discussed before, it's not just breaking the ceiling, it's also treading a path for the next generation.
Absolutely.
We love to hear that. So I want to circle back to that. We have to take a break. I want to talk more about that when we come back. But before we do, question of the day that we ask everybody is, when did you know your journey as a Black woman was going to be different? So when we come back, you can answer that question, and then we'll circle back to law school with the baby. Yeah. How does that work? So we need to know that too. That's a burning question as well.
Absolutely.
You're watching Her Journey, presented by Kudzukian Media Group. Stay where you are. We'll be right back.